welcome to the show. This is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name's Steve Reeves, and we've got another great show. We've got Doug Hansen from Texas Instruments here. We're going to talk about mobile computing solutions. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, this is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves and I'm the host. And we've got Doug Hansen from Texas Instruments here in town. And we're going to talk about mobile computing solutions. And we're going to talk about all kinds of different things. The reason we asked Doug, well, he's actually been on the show before. About a year ago we did another show on notebooks and things, but we decided to do a show on total mobile solutions. We have notebooks, we have printers, big and small. And we also have organizers, personal organizers. We're going to talk about how they all work together, how they link, and show how everything goes together. It's pretty cool. We've got, what do they call these, replicators? Port replicators, docking stations, all kinds of fun, cool things, too. This is like a little, some sort of a wild, big calculator thing for kids. But printers, big and small, and everything else. So this ought to be a pretty cool show. So first thing I want to do is introduce Doug. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do. I mean, actually, you told me the division here. It's about 18 words long. But tell us exactly what you do and what you do there at TI.
Right. I represent the Personal Productivity Products Division. That's the 18 miles long that you're talking about. Basically, I'm a corporate development executive for Texas Instruments, and I mainly focus on the corporate accounts. We have other people out there that focus on the resellers more, making sure that they're getting the information they need. But I spend 90% of my time in front of large corporate accounts. And corporate accounts are very demanding. They have a lot of needs, and more of the corporate accounts are moving some of their people into their homes for officing out of their house. TI has a unique solution base for those type of people, so that's what I focus on.
Right. It's a lot of salespeople now for presentations and all kinds of things going on the road, and these things are really powerful because they have multimedia and things. A lot of them have multimedia built in with speakers and the microphones and all kinds of cool things you can add on and whatever. So it's pretty cool for salespeople too to go out. Not just salespeople, but that's a good example. I know a lot of our salespeople use that, but also for multimedia presentations and things, it's great.
Exactly. I mean, so many of our customers, not just salespeople like you were saying, but marketing professionals. I mean, our world is, look at what the internet's done to us. I mean, our world is becoming more and more where we can do things remotely. But amazingly enough, people feel more and more detached when they're out in the field. They don't get to sit by the water cooler and talk to their friends and catch up on things. So multimedia is bringing lots of things into technology, into the home that people are always thinking before is just, let's just do like presentations. Now you sometimes will get a multimedia video from your president and CEO saying, here's what we're doing. Once a month, a lot of my customers are getting those kind of things to the field that in the past, without multimedia, they couldn't do that. So now right on their screen is their president or their manager, full motion videos, sounds, showing you products, doing a training, telling them about here's where we're at in the market, things like that. So people are more and more working out of their house.
The other thing that I found is becoming a lot more popular also is buying one computer, as opposed to a lot of companies used to buy one computer for the office, one for the home. It's actually, in most cases, less expensive to buy one of these and like a port replicator or a docking station and have the same computer take it back and forth.
That's exactly right.
It's real easy and a lot less expensive.
In fact, to take it one step further, a lot of my companies, even for their people that are inbound in the office that never move hardly, there's still, a lot of companies are going just to notebooks for their total solution. The desktop world, there was a time when obviously when desktops added a lot more power as well as they needed the mobility. I mean, the notebooks added the mobility, so the people needed the desktops for power and so forth. Plus there was a cost savings with the desktops. Now with the notebook computers, the price point has gotten down to the point people can afford them. The increased productivity gains from someone being in the field, mobile. Even if you just take your computer home, you never travel. You just take it home in the evenings to do some work or on the weekends. There's studies out there that show that it's well worth the cost.
Plus, as far as expandability, almost everything is built into these, like soundboards and you know, all the different ports and things. Everything is there where it used to be in the old notebooks. The reason a lot of people didn't like them is because you couldn't do anything with them. Now with all the more of the PCMCI cards, removable drives and switchable CD-ROMs and everything else. That was another thing. You know, if you wanted to take it home for multimedia, you had to have an external CD-ROM, or, well, a while ago there was no such thing as that. So now you can actually have CD-ROMs and things in a lot of the notebooks and switch things around and
Right, it's
Everything's
simple.
pretty
I mean,
cool.
especially with Windows 95, think about before PCMCIA, everyone might have some different solutions, but everyone had their own proprietary solution. And so now it's becoming simpler because PCMCIA devices are standard across the board, and so it'll plug into any notebooks, not just TI. So you're right, it is becoming simpler and easier to use.
Yeah, why don't we talk about some of the notebooks first and show some of the differences and why people might pick one over the other and some of the features of the different things and maybe some of the steps. You want to start at this one?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
That's our Extenza. That's actually a 550, and we just announced a 560. The Extenza line is, some people call it the value line. You can call it anything but cheap. But actually, in all honesty, that's what it is. It's cheap, but it's as far as price. But it is great quality and great performance. This machine, it's originally targeted for our retail market, but you'd be really surprised at how many corporate accounts buy these for their field force automation. For example, this machine is a Pentium 75 megahertz machine.
Really?
It now comes with a 800 meg or 1.2 gig drive. You can see it has the touchpad mouse in front, which is a neat feature. A lot of people like this mouse. It's actually about 80% accepted, where all the other pointing devices are out there are usually barely 50%. People really like that. This machine comes standard with 8 meg of RAM. It'll go up to 40, and you can get it in a dual scan or an active matrix display.
All right.
It also has an integrated CD-ROM here on the side. You can't open it without the machine being turned on, but that right there, right, the machine has to be on to pop the door out. But that's the CD-ROM, and you can also pop that CD out and put a floppy in there, or you can put in a second battery, depending on what features you need the most.
So if we do this, how do you get this out? You just
There's a little
that's right, a little
slide bar right there, and then that pops out. Right.
So this is modular. So what can you put in here now? This is a...
It comes with the CD.
Oh, this is a CD?
That's the CD, right.
Jeez.
So it's actually the thinnest on the market right now.
Wow.
But you can also plug in a floppy drive, or you can put in a second battery pack in that slot if you'd like.
Oh, that's great. So if you're on a plane or something and you don't need a CD-ROM.
But you need a battery life.
Yeah, exactly. You can do that.
Right.
That's great.
And the machine has a suspend feature where people say, yeah, but what if I want to plug in and plug out? You can just turn the machine, it'll remember right where it was and come back to that, so you can pop those things.
What's on the other side here?
That's the hard drive. It's actually removable. That machine right there has this particular model has a 500 meg drive. There's no other slot on the bottom, no, just to pull that thing down and pull it right out.
I'm not a very good model, am I? Oh, I don't. Well, that's all right. I'm trying to be able to see so you can see it on the show. This actually slides out.
It's actually very easy, but that's a 500 meg drive, and then the 800.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Sorry. It's easier if I look at what I'm doing.
Right, you were actually pretty twisted up there. You can plug, if you want to put an 800 meg drive or 1.2 gig drive, you could just pop it right in. Like I said, the newer model, the 560, comes standard with the 800 meg or the 1.2 gig. And the advantage of this is not just that you can upgrade, but if your machine, hard drives are probably the most common failure because you drop them or impact crashes the heads or things. You don't have to send in your whole machine for service. We have a program that you could actually have another hard drive sent to you, and you just pop that in and send the other one back. So that's the advantage of that.
And then what's back here are all the ports?
Yeah, that's the ports. Now, obviously, your standard parallel port, serial port, and VGA monitor port, and there's some jacks up there for multimedia, speakers and microphone. Right here. Exactly. And right beside your finger, closer to me, right up there is the infrared jack.
Oh, right here?
That's where you can do infrared wireless printing or talking to electronic organizers, or actually, you can even talk to other notebooks and do wireless lap link and send your files down.
I know Windows 95 has an infrared driver now for printers that support the infrared printing.
That's exactly right. That's the kind of advantages you can get with infrared. So, and actually, you'll see more about infrared when we talk about the TravelMate series.
And what's this over here?
That is the port replicator port.
Oh, I see.
That machine offers a port replicator. Remember, this is our value line, so we don't have full-featured docking station on the Extenza series, but you do have a port replicator. So if you come to your office, you lay it down, plug in the port replicator, and you have parallel, you have video, your monitor's hooked up automatically, keyboard, mouse, any of those kind of devices that you normally have to fight with wires, they fall behind your desk. They're all right there in one nice, easy strip.
So you just plug it in so you can actually have one at home, one at your office, all you have to carry back and forth is the PC.
That's right. You don't have to worry about AC adapters or any of that mess.
That's great.
Exactly.
All right, and then there's just the regular mouse.
It's actually a dual-purpose keyboard or mouse port.
Oh, so you can actually hook up a regular mouse to this.
Right. You could put a serial mouse on the serial port, or you could put a mouse in the PS2 port. Depends on how you want to use it.
And this is the Extenza.
That's correct.
Extenza.
Yeah, there's this Extenza 550.
All right, and it just pops right open.
Right.
And there's the LCD.
The status icons. That's right. It's really neat to show when your hard drive is being hit, how much battery life is left, and so forth. When your CD-ROM is being accessed, and so on.
All right. Actually, is it coming up here?
Actually, well, it's on. It's taking.
Oh, I see now. I can see. It's tough working backwards.
Exactly. Also, this machine, you can't see it from your angle, but there's stereo speakers built into the upper leftmost corners, right? That corner and the other corner. It's a stereo speaker in each side.
Oh, I see right there. Oh, yeah,
Right.
that's great.
Exactly.
But it does show you exactly what's going on down here.
Exactly. Now that's a dual scan model. I'm not sure if the camera can see it.
It's coming pretty good.
From my angle, that's a good point to talk about. From my angle, I can't see a thing on that screen right now. With these lights and with the dual scan, you can't see it. And there's people who say, oh, well, I would never want that. Actually, there's a market for both. The dual scan, some of my executive customers, for example, really love it because when you're sitting on a plane, the guy next to you can't see what you're typing.
Oh.
But for me, in my job, every day I'm in front of a sales situation, so I have 2 to 4 people in a given room almost every time I sell, and I need active matrix. So active matrix, you can see from any viewing angle, you have a faster refresh rate and more vivid color. So that's the advantage of active matrix, but it's usually between $700 and $1,200 more per model.
Right.
So it depends on what your needs are. The average college student that's just going to be typing word processing, sitting directly in front of it all the time.
Passive's fine.
Yeah, the color's beautiful in passive. It's from the sides that it washes out.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, now this is the Extensa.
That's
Let's
correct.
go to the, I don't want to call this the low end, but I guess it's...
It's our value line, that's right. It's totally marketed and priced for trying to stay at a price point that is along the lower end of the scale. I mean, one of the things you lose, you don't have the full-featured docking stations like you'll see with the TravelMate. Some of the other performance features that are built in our TravelMate series, you don't have on the Extensa line as well. But it's a great performance. The same Pentium processor, same high-speed hard drive, same PCI bus, which is real important. So it's a great performer. It just didn't have as many enhanced
I'm exiting
features.
out of Windows 95 gracefully.
Gracefully.
I could just
Notice the
turn it off.
machine shut down without...
Oh, that's great.
It automatically, when you hit shut down the machine, it's actually... We work closely with Microsoft, and our machines are all 95 compatible, and the machine powered off itself when you just clicked on the software.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
Okay, what's the next thing? This is the...
That's the TravelMate series. I have one open here beside me, and that's our TravelMate. I think that one is the 5000 that you're holding. It opens from the side.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both sides. There you go. Exactly.
I learned pretty fast.
That's a TravelMate 5000. We also offer a 5100 and a 5200. And the main differences is processor speed and screen. The 5000 is a 75 megahertz Pentium, 5100 is a 90 megahertz Pentium, 5200 is a 120 megahertz Pentium.
Cool.
When you get to the 120 megahertz Pentium, the 5200, you also get an 800 by 600 display, and you can go up to 11.3 inch diameter display as well. Where the 5000 is a 10.4 inch 640 by 480 display. So.
All right. Now this one has the little eraser head.
The point. Everyone has a different name for that thing, but that's that's probably up until the glide pad mouse. That has probably been the most accepted mouse because it's small. It's really easy to use, but it does take some getting used to. Like my mother does not like that thing, by the way. I mean, she can't get used to that deal, but she loves the other one.
It is kind of like a little clown nose.
Right. That's right.
That's a technical term for it.
Yeah,
but this has the little buttons down here, button 1, button 2.
1, button 2, that's correct. Actually, the 5000 series has won many awards for us. I mean, it was the first PCI notebook on the market. It has our machines these TravelMates come standard with 2 meg of video RAM versus everyone else's 1 meg. Has PCI bus, 256K level 2 cache. I mean, it's a great performing machine.
All right, you were saying how easy that like this stuff pops out like this if I move this.
Right, you have to open the door on the side here. Oh, actually, you opened it when you popped it out.
Oh, I see.
Right, and then that pops out the PCMCIA cards. So you don't have to reach your fingers down in there and cramped up to get the board out. It's really easy to use.
A lot of times you about bust your fingernails trying to get those things.
There's 2 PCMCIA slots on the side, so you have 2 slide bars up there.
Oh, I see.
Right, and then there's 2 battery packs in front, so you have 2 slide bars over here in front, right on the top. See the 2 slide bars on the very top in front of your keyboard, on top of your keyboard.
Oh, here.
Right, there you go. Right.
Oh, I see.
And that pops out your battery packs.
See that?
Right.
Now you were saying something about these batteries. It was pretty cool.
Right.
Where you can actually test them and to see how much. Can you see that? Can you see? I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, they can see it.
See how the light
push the button again.
Watch.
There you go.
It tells you how much power is in there. So you don't even have to have it in the computer.
That's right. It has its own intelligence in the battery.
Now these are what kind of batteries?
Lithium ion. Standard.
Now what's the difference? Why would you want these over like the other ones that?
Well, there's many advantages. There's the environmental issues, but that some people are extremely concerned about. But most people, it's performance. The memory issue that was with NiCad kind of went away with nickel metal hydride, but it's totally gone with lithium ion. Lithium ion has a much longer performance rate too. You get a lot longer battery life. In fact, no other machine on the market can compete with our model. It's been documented by every major magazine. That model gets you up to 6 hours of battery life.
Wow. So the one big advantage is, like you said, that this. You don't have to. It doesn't have memory.
It doesn't have the memory effect of NiCad.
So you don't have to run it all the way down before you can charge it back up.
Right. The NiCads is the older technology. About every once a month, you were supposed to deep discharge that battery and then recharge it. And how many battery devices do we have around our home? We never remember which ones we cycled when. And
kind of like my my camcorder.
Right.
I have like 3 minutes. I can tape for 3 minutes.
Or the antenna phones. I got several phones. I can only have a 2-minute conversation and I'm done.
So that just pops in. Oh, I see. Then it pops in.
Right.
Then what's on this side? There's some more jacks. These things have more jacks.
Right. The top three are your multimedia jacks. So your line in, your headphone jack, and your microphone jack. That's the microphone on the left. Yeah. And,
one of these.
Right, and then the bottom, that one right there is your mouse port, again, mouse keyboard port, and then that is just the AC in.
Oh, I see.
That's where
So
the
for the
AC
power.
comes. Right.
All right. And like we said, there's also it has the little buttons up front here, turbo and the hard drive.
Right. Actually, they're indicator lights. Yeah, they're just showing you the status of your hard drive, floppy drive, and what speed you're running the processor.
Instead of that LED, you can see the lights, and also up here it shows you when your cap locks and everything.
Right.
Little lights over here.
Exactly.
But this one is this is a 5,000. You said this is a 75 megahertz.
That's correct.
Cool.
75 megahertz processor.
And then the one you have in front of you there is what?
This is the 5200. It's our flagship model right now. Obviously, flagship models.
120?
Yeah, 120 megahertz Pentium.
Cool.
8 mega RAM standard, 1.2 gig drive standard, 800 by 600 display. This one is actually a 10.4 inch display because it was one of our very first models they sent out to us in the sales field to show our customers.
Right.
But you can now get it with an 11.3 inch display.
Wow.
So it's much bigger.
It looks pretty similar to this one as far as everything about it, right?
That's correct. I mean,
a little clown nose.
It's got the faster processor. It's got the higher resolution display.
Oh.
This one's got a bigger hard drive than that one, but you can get the same size hard drive in like the 5100. I would like to point out the reason that this isn't running at 800. It's at 640 by 480 right now, and that's why we have this gap around it. And it's because we wanted to have it at a resolution rate that the people out in the audience could see. Because when we had it 8 by 600, you couldn't hardly see it on TV.
The text was too small.
Right.
So if we went to 800 by 600, it would actually expand to the full
That's exactly
size
right.
of the screen.
That's right.
All right. The other thing that I thought was pretty cool about these, I like to make the cameraman jump around real fast.
Right.
Is this cool thing right here. I don't know if anybody else has a notebook out there, but I don't know how many times I've seen these things just break, these little doors on the back here. Watch how cool this is, like little garage doors. You press this button, and these things pop up out of the way.
Yep.
I mean, people that don't have notebooks don't appreciate this, but this is a pretty cool little invention here.
You know, it's amazing. We've gained, these machines are such good
You press
performance.
that and it pops up, and look at it. There's nothing to break off or anything. It goes up inside the computer. Why didn't I think of that?
I don't know. You'd be a rich man today. Not that you already aren't.
Oh yeah, I forgot. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now do we want to go ahead and start talking about these, or how you want? What's the difference between these different things?
Well, yeah, we can real quickly cover these. This is the port replicator, and port replicator. The main function is to
I'll hold it up.
okay, is
You can
to
point it.
do exactly what we were talking about before with the Extensa line, is to control the wires and so forth, where you walk up and easily hook up your notebook to all the different peripherals. But this one also offers a few other features. But basically, you walk up and put it on the little prongs. Actually,
You want to do this?
You can demonstrate
Why don't we do
it
it
with
here? Let's move that
Yeah.
one over here. We got lots of fun stuff here. All right, you ready?
Right.
Can you zoom in down here? Okay. There's these little holes down here. See these little holes? Like I said, I keep the cameraman jumping. Little holes down here and like here, and this actually sits down on these little plug thingamajigs. That's a technical term for it, I think, isn't it?
I think that is.
Plug to thingamajigs. You just set it down on there like that, and then you push this down, right? Oh, wait. I forgot to do the most important thing.
Right,
I forgot to
pushing the
open the door.
doors.
Press that little, put up the garage doors.
Oh, do it again.
Put up the garage doors. Now, push down on there.
Right, and everything just became hooked up just then. And by
Just
the way,
like that.
right. and
So
you can-
now what's cool about this is, go ahead and say what all this fun stuff is.
Right. See, for example, you could have a keyboard plugged in if you wanted to use a full-size keyboard. Then you have your VGA port if you want a full-size monitor, which is real important for like the high-res displays, especially at CAD engineers and so forth, want a 19-inch monitor. Then you have your parallel port and a serial port. And in this particular model has an Ethernet jack there. So that particular port replicator has Ethernet built into it. It's the same Thunderland chipset that Compaq is using in their desktop computers.
All right.
They buy that from TI as well. So that gives you full network capabilities when you just walk up and dot.
All right, so what's really cool about this is, you actually have all this stuff plugged in. You want to go to the office, you just lift this thing up,
Right?
pull it out. Everything else stays plugged in, and you just take the computer away.
That's exactly right.
All right. We're going to have to take a quick break here. So make sure everybody stays tuned, and we'll be right back. everyone, welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, like I always say, this is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves, and I'm the host. And what we're going to do is we're here with Doug Hansen from Texas Instruments here in town, and we're discussing mobile computing solutions. Cool name, huh? And what we're talking about are all kinds of different things. Notebook computers, replicators, docking stations, organizers, printers, sort of a mobile solution. That's why we call it that, isn't it?
I think that's what we're pretty smart.
And so what we're talking about is how this all works together and how you can actually put things. We'll talk about how the organizer actually works with the notebooks. You can actually what do you call them? Interface the two, or transfer data back and forth. My brain went dead there for a second. And but also how all these things work, and advantages and disadvantages. There's no disadvantage. Well, there might be some disadvantages in notebooks every so often on expandability.
Right. There's some disadvantages of some of these solutions. You have to pick the right one that's best for you.
Right. But talk about all the different advantages of, for example, replicators over just a regular notebook, or a docking station. Why that'd be better than a port replicator or whatever. So we actually went on a break, and we were talking about this. You said there's different models of this port replicator. This one here, you say, is the one that has the Ethernet connection. What's the other ones?
Well, yeah, Steve, there's basically 3 models of that port replicator, and they all 3 have the same form factor. They look just like that one. And this one's in the middle of the 3. The lower end one is strictly just those wire managers on the back. The keyboard, and actually that's a mouse port on the side, and the keyboard jack is over here.
Oh, I see, it's over here.
Right. So actually the basic unit has a keyboard, a mouse jack, parallel serial, and VGA. The next model is this model, which adds the Ethernet capability. And then the next model, which is a quantum leap, in my opinion, you take away the Ethernet jack that we just added, but you add what we call a reduced form factor PCI slot. Reduced form factor PCI is something we could talk a lot about, but basically just think of it as a PCI card that looks just like PCMCIA. You add that slot, which is like a network card or something. You also add the SCSI jack or port on the back, and you add stereo speakers into the front corner. So it makes it more of a multimedia type docking station.
So it's a regular SCSI, like you could hook up SCSI 2. Oh, great.
Yeah. You could daisy chain 7 devices off the back of that.
Like I know a lot of those new iOmega, those zip drives, and the Jazz and everything. You can get those either parallel or SCSI.
Right.
And a lot of times the problem with the SCSI is always faster, but you have to buy a port.
Right.
You know, a card for your computer, and that doesn't always work with notebooks. That'd be great if you could do it on this notebook and use it that way, rather than have to hook it up to the parallel port, because the SCSI is a lot faster.
That's right.
All right. Okay, why don't we talk about the docking stations now?
Okay.
We got lots of fun stuff here, you know? All right.
Now, our docking station, we took a different approach than most other people. As you can see, our docking station is very small. It's not much bigger than the notebook.
Right.
And we have the only portable docking station on the market. You could actually take this in your briefcase with you. It weighs about 10 pounds. It's battery powered as well, or AC powered, either one, but it uses the same batteries as the notebook you were just holding. There's actually one fake spacer battery in here and one real battery. But you just popped one out, and actually now both. So you can actually, when you plug your notebook into this in your office, you're charging all 4 batteries at once. So some people use it as a charger. That's just a fake battery. In case you know, whatever. In case you need to haul something secretive.
Yeah.
Put your cash in there on your business trip.
Oh God, I can't get the thing back in. Oh, I see what I did.
It's just a blank
I'm trying to
shell.
break as much as I can tonight. We're gonna put this over here. All right. And he's never going to let me touch a computer again.
Never again.
Okay, but there's a little thingamajigs on the side here where you actually pull these up and it pops right out.
Right.
All right. And then on the front, what'd you say? There's a bunch of little things here.
Right. It's all your multimedia controls, your volume, your balance, your treble, your bass, your mix, all the multimedia. We call this the multimedia docking station, because right here on top is a CD-ROM, and you can see a line going between there. There's a spacer. Yeah, you're pulling out the CD-ROM version part right now. That spacer you could also put in like another hard drive. We actually tested some hard drives to go in there, so you could have 1.2 gig on your notebook and another gig in your multimedia dock.
I just can't get over how little these
CD-ROMs are. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, but that's our CD-ROM, and so that's what this is for. And then anyway, obviously, if you have CD-ROM, you got to have speakers. You might want to turn it back around the front.
Oh, this is really cool here.
So when you walk into your office and you can't hear your speakers, you just clip them right out. Isn't that nice?
Isn't that neat? Whoa, that's my favorite part right there.
Yeah, and it's got the infrared built into the speaker on your right. The infrared is
right over here?
Right, exactly. It's built into the end, so you can once again do wireless printing. The neat part, you could point that anywhere you want. So you don't have to move your whole unit to point it. That's right.
Cool. And then on the back, all the other fun stuff that
Yeah, some of the standard ports, but the same standard ports that we had on the previous model, but you add a joystick port and you add a SCSI port. So there's joystick, and then you add a SCSI over there to your right. There you go. And then right here on the back, this is a PCMCIA reduced form factor board. We mentioned that a while ago in the port replicators, but it's, as you can see, it's about the same size as a PCI card. Only, I'm sorry, PCMCIA card, but it's using PCI architecture. And the truth of the matter is, no one really offers any cards to go in reduced form factor PCI yet. So people that are worried about investment protection, they buy this a year from now when those cards become more available. They don't have to go out and buy a new hardware. Right, you're already ahead of it.
Plan ahead. Cool. So then how does this go in here? Let me just slide this in here.
Same
thing as the other one. You open up the back, you open up the little garage doors.
Right.
That's our little saying of the day there.
Right.
And you just push it. Wow, that one goes right in there.
Right, exactly.
And then there's a little thing up on top where you can lock
it. Right, you just slide that down.
Oh, I see. I didn't have it all the way. Right. There it is. Lock. And then there's another one, security lock. You can't see that, but then there's a little thing here where you can actually put one of those cables through or whatever.
When you lock it, the little pin comes out, and you can put your own padlock. One thing we didn't mention here is there's another door here on the side.
Oh, there it is.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
can you see that little doohickey thing right there? That's another one of those technical terms. See it right there? That's where you put the little lock on.
Right. So, which actually, theft is a concern for a lot of people with their notebooks. It's much harder to steal this with it connected than it is but without.
I know a lot of our consultants and things actually lock their PCs to the desks and things. Right. And that come to the office.
Yeah, there's one more door here on the side, and just to let you know, that's to access the PCI actual card slot. People say, what good is that reduced form factor PCI? There's no cards for it yet. So in the interim, you can actually take a PCI card that goes right in your desktop PC and plug it in right there. It's a half-size card. It's not a full-size PCI card. It's a half-size. Cool. But, so it has a lot of functionality built into that machine.
Great. This is pretty cool. Yeah. Now, you also said, we forgot to mention this, but you said there's a little doohickey thing.
There's a doohickey thing.
That's you can put a monitor on top.
I need to make a note of that for my literature.
Doohickey thing.
No, it's a monitor stand. It'll hold up to a 19-inch monitor. It's it basically is designed to go right around that. In fact, it has the same pegs so that you can secure the either port replicator or the multimedia dock to the base, and you slide it out, and your monitor stays on the stand. Slide out the base, put your notebook on, secure it, however, slide it back underneath.
Oh, okay. Cool. I like these speakers myself.
Right.
All right. So, and that way, like you say, if you put it up with a monitor, and you don't have to have this, you can actually have a regular keyboard and a mouse if you want to keep this closed or whatever.
Exactly.
All right. And what's the next thing we want to talk? You want to start talking about the printers?
Sure.
Okay, why don't we talk about the printers? Do you want to talk about the little one first?
Yeah, let's start with the Win 4, which is, the reason we're here today is we're talking about mobile solutions. We have customers that are, and everyone's using mobile solutions now. It used to be just the big corporate accounts that could afford it. Now there's students, there's people with their small businesses out of their home. There's a lot of reasons people need a small printer. I'll tell you another one that people don't think of is the executive that needs to have confidential printing capabilities, or it doesn't go through the network. But they don't want these big printers on their desk, especially in a small home office. These printers take up too much room. Everyone has the big printer. This little guy is about the size of 3 reams of paper. It's called a lunchbox. It's a little bitty thing, but it prints laser printer, prints 600 DPI, holds 100 pieces of paper at a time in the bin. We actually even offer a case that we are testing right now that will allow you to put your notebook in this printer in the case. Has wheels, kind of like the travel bags when you're traveling with your garments, only you could put this in there. It fits nice.
I see that goes down, folds down. What are these? Oh, I see. This is paper with a little...
right, and you can slide those
little ears.
Little rabbit ears.
Rabbit ears.
That's
right.
You
can get channel 13 or something. Or this channel. Or if you get cable.
Maybe we can get this channel.
And on the back here, we should take this little plug off right here.
Right. It's a brand new printer, so we never did take the protective plastic off.
Okay. So it's got a parallel port.
Centronics port.
Centronics.
And the nice thing about this, it's an instant-on fuser. Your first printing, I believe, is within 15 seconds, give or take. I can't remember the exact number, but in other words, you don't have an on-off switch. It comes on when you print automatically.
Oh.
And goes off to save power. When it's in its standby mode, it uses less power than a night light.
The environmental people like that kind of stuff where it turns off automatic, doesn't run all the time.
Exactly.
A green printer.
That's right. And that machine is compatible with our Windows 95. That's what it's really designed for. It'll work with Windows 3.1 as well, but it's really designed to use the GDI printing interface in the new Windows 95. See, this machine is, its street price is around $425, $440 for a 600 by 600 laser printer that weighs under 11 pounds.
Yeah, there's how you open it. I mean, it's pretty easy to get to. I mean, we just I never looked at the manual.
Right.
We know everything works and
Right.
this thing is pretty easy.
It provides a straight through paper path if you'd like, for envelopes and things like that, or you can have it
Oh, I see. You
wrap
can
around.
actually adjust the back here for different sizes and envelopes and whatever.
Right, and this little button in front lets
see.
you have straight through or wrap around printing. Right there, right there.
Oh yeah, there's a little thing, press
Right,
it up and
that'll
down.
go straight down, then the other way will come back up the top.
Great. All right.
Right.
Now this thing is, you said 4 pages a minute.
4 pages per
All
minute.
right.
That machine does not have its own processor, its own memory. The whole GDI printer interface in Windows 95, the concept is you take advantage of the resources you already have. Why buy another processor and another 8 meg of RAM for your printer when you already have all this stuff? Windows 95 is requiring so much memory.
Right.
And so it treats it as though it's an application when it does a print job, and just right back to another application if you want. So it's instant printing.
That's great. Okay, I'm not going to pick that one up back there.
That's right.
But when we put that screen down there so they
Right.
can see that. Now this is the TI. Let's kind of just do this.
There you go.
There. And this is the Texas Instruments, the bigger model.
Right. This is our PowerPro 12. We actually offer 2 models between the Win4. There's the MicroLaser 600 and the PowerPro 8, each with the 600 is 5 pages per minute, PowerPro 8 is 8 pages per minute, 12 pages per minute. 20 megahertz RISC processor, comes with 3 megs of RAM standard, but with our memory, Adobe Memory Manager, it makes it effectively 6 megs of RAM. It can go up to, I believe it's 19 meg of RAM in the machine if you want to upgrade that. So this is it's a workhorse. Some of the things that we offer is like no one else offers 500 pages standard. It comes with 2 bins. So when you can have it set up where when one bin is empty, it automatically goes to the other bin, or you can put in a letter size, or legal size rather, or an envelope feeder or whatever else. So it comes out of the box ready to do 500 pages.
So the other one, I guess, sticks out a little further or something?
Yeah, actually it does.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, it's a great printer.
It does have the LED.
Right. It's set up for, this printer's really, there's plenty of folks that they're just an individual that want a really fast, powerful printer, but it's really, for like the powerful network, work group, lots of people using it. It's a workhorse. Lots of, print very fast with its own processor and lots of memory, and it's really a neat machine.
So this one probably is not as much for a home use, but you could, if you did, if you work some sort of a technical writer or something like that, you needed a nice home PC, a home printer, like you say, because it has PostScript.
Right.
And it's real good for that, for all the wild fonts and
Right.
things.
It's PostScript and PCL 5 enhanced, so it does both those. It also comes out of the box ready for Mac or DOS environment.
Oh, so there's ports on the back
for Mac,
Apple Talk and
Local Talk, right?
Yeah, Local Talk.
Right, and the DOS. There's a parallel port and the Local Talk port on the back. Comes with PostScript and PCL 5 built in.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So right out of the box, you're ready to go. And in corporate America, that's real important because there's a lot of people that a guy will move to another office, or he goes to work out of his home, or he basically maybe leaves to go to another company, and now they have a printer. What do we do with it? If it works on your Macs or your DOS-based machines, it's not an issue.
Now, did you mention, like, what's the price differences between, I know this one here you said was relatively low, like 4 something.
Right. This machine is around the $425, $450 price range for the Win4.
This is perfect for most people in a home office.
Right, and you were asking, let me back up, when you said most people would use this in their home. I agree that it's mainly because of size, and also because it's a little more expensive, and for the home office, 600 by 600 in that printer, 4 pages per minute is usually fine. This is still 600 by 600, but it's faster and more capabilities, holds more paper and so forth. But you're right, most people would use this in an office environment, and therefore the price justifies that this machine's around $1,400.
That's still not bad.
Right.
This right here is the coolest thing that you can have. It has 2 different paper trays.
Right.
And anyone that knows, you buy a lot of the printers out there, you either have to buy a paper tray,
Right.
or it has 1, and if it'll actually tell you that it has 2, but it's the one that you do the manual feed, where that's the second one.
Right.
This is pretty cool that it has both of them, and that you can have both letter and legal.
Yeah, there's a lot of advantage. Our consumables, first of all, this machine comes ready to print 15,000 pages. Without having to upgrade toner. Most of the other printers out there are 6,000, so you'd upgrade 2.5 toners before ours ever ran out of 1.
Right.
So that's one of the other things that saves you some money down the road. It's pretty aggressively priced right out of the box. And also, it also offers a slot that you can put in our network card so that you can run your Ethernet network.
Oh, that's great.
So just plug in the card without, and it runs your network right out. It spools everything for you.
Yeah, because a lot of them you either have to buy a third-party adapter or something to
Right.
either external or internal. But you guys actually offer offer a card that
Yeah,
fits in?
it's not Buck Rogers stuff. It's really here. I mean, it's
cool.
Yeah, it's here today working, and people love it.
And this thing will run. I mean, any of these notebooks, people that don't know, there's a lot of people that don't know how they hook up, like a parallel port goes, and what the difference between a serial and a parallel port. And it'll just hook up right to the parallel port of either the docking station,
right,
or there it is over here. It's hard to see upside down.
Right.
Like the regular parallel port here on the side of the docking station, or the same thing, the parallel port, which is the printer port of the replicator, which is also, it's a 25 holes
25
as opposed
pin.
to the 25 pins. The pins are on the cable that goes into it. It's 25 holes. And then also the same thing, well, we don't have it up here anymore, but same thing. They all look the same.
Right.
And then the other side, like we showed before, I'm going to tell her to one more time. I put the thing on the back here, and this is a Centronics.
You can throw that away.
Oh, can I? I keep putting it on. I don't know why I put it on. Same thing right here. People that don't know, this is a Centronics port here.
Right.
And this is actually what the other end of the parallel cable.
Yeah, if you walked into any Radio Shack or any CompUSA, any store like that, and said, I want a printer cable, they will give you. On one end it has that port, and the other end it has the port you were just discussing.
Right.
So.
And you can buy these. The one thing that no printers come with cables.
I know it's crazy.
Kind of like this car without keys. But I guess they don't know, the length. You might want a 6-foot cable. You may want a 12-foot, a 15 to 25 foot, or you might want an Apple.
Understand also, some people want a switch box on them, and then when you have a switch box, then you have two DB25 type ports. So that's the reason why. I mean,
or they already have a printer. Why would they buy another cable? Because most of the time, they had an old dot matrix printer. It already has the parallel cable, because parallel cables haven't really switched much in the last 100 years.
That's actually a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. On that particular,
that's why I did.
On that particular printer, we act like we rehearsed that.
Yeah.
On that particular printer, almost all your printer cables the last 5 years, anywhere 3 years at least, have been the high-end bidirectional printer cables. But if you have like a printer cable that's like 5 years old with this particular printer, it will not work. Because it actually talks back to your computer.
So this is a bidirectional.
That's a bidirectional. The interface that comes with that's the drivers in your Windows 95 or Windows for Workgroups. It actually talks to the printer. When you start printing, it has a little animation cartoon that comes up and shows the paper going through your printer, and it talks to the computer and says, hey, I'm out of paper or whatever else, and actually it has an animation screen that tells you exactly what to do to fix the problem.
So it tells you if the door's open or the paper's out.
It doesn't just tell you. Actually, it also gives you animation and voice. It tells you paper is out, and it shows you what you need to do to open the door, animated through our software.
So the speakers of these notebooks and everything else, you can hear it. Or if you have speakers with a sound card or whatever in your desktop. And again, we're showing this that it's hooked up to these notebooks, but this will hook up to any desktop. It doesn't have to be a notebook or anything else. Just for people, a lot of people ask a lot of questions and leave messages that, well, how come you didn't talk about desktops and things or whatever? But both these can hook up to a desktop computer just as easily as it can in the notebook.
Absolutely.
Not specifically for a desktop. So these are pretty cool. Now the one thing we didn't mention, you don't need any special paper or anything else. Just a regular old paper. Nothing different or wild about like inkjets or anything else or anything like that. These are regular lasers. That have just laser jet printers that actually use regular paper.
You can use the same paper using your copy machine, or you can run high quality paper if you're doing like a resume or some formal document presentation. You can run the higher end paper. In fact, there's a guide that comes with every printer that shows you how thick of paper you can run through it, and you can make it where it's straight pass through. If you have really thick card stock that you want to run like some invitations or something like that, you can have it come out the back instead of make the turn and come out on top.
All right.
So yeah, you can run an assortment of papers. You can run transparencies through these things and make your own transparencies.
Cool.
So,
all right, we're going to take a quick break here. We're talking about mobile computing solutions. I had to look that up. It's kind of a mouthful. But stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. In case you just tuned in, this is the American Computer Enthusiast Show. My name is Steve Reeves, and we're talking about today is mobile computing solutions, and we have Doug Hansen here from Texas Instruments here in Houston, and we're talking about the total mobile solution. Mobile, like office solution, both combined. And what you do, these machines will work in your house, in your office, on the road.
right.
Even on the road. And we have notebook computers, we have port replicators, docking station printers, big and small, and also little organizer. We'll get to this in just a minute, and how this will actually link to a PC and how it all works. We're actually going to show how that does that. But when we finished up there for a break, we were actually talking about printers, but Doug had a few more things you wanted to talk about on the printers and the different models. There are a couple of models that TI offers.
Right, and they mirror other manufacturers. It's important to know that there's models in between these two. This is our highest end box with a 20 megahertz processor, 12 pages per minute. There will be another one that looks identical to it that's 8 pages per minute, and you save a few $100s when you go to that one. And then we offer another model that's about 5 pages per minute with a 16 megahertz. Once again, these are all through RISC processors, so it's not just some low-end processor. You know, it's a reduced instruction
So there's two other models that fit in between these two.
Exactly, and you know, all of them have their own market, and you can use them any way you want, as we discussed. Some people have these in their home, but you know, like I use that particular machine right there in my home because I work out of my house for Texas Instruments, and shelf space is important to me.
Right.
As well as that printer is portable. I can actually take it on the road with me. It only weighs 11 pounds, and it's got some neat features. So it depends on what your needs are and your price point. You know, whatever you're needing for that.
The problem is if we had every one of them, they wouldn't be able to see us.
Right.
Now,
That's
some
important.
people might like that.
It's pretty important to
People
me.
that I've been on too much lately. So anyway, you want to talk? Let's talk about these little organizers. These are great. Now,
Yeah.
what you were saying was, I mean, believe it or not, people think notebooks are too big. You know,
That's
so
right.
they want something smaller they can carry around in their pocket. You know, and find out, you know, names, addresses, and their reminders and things of what's coming up and appointments and things. Also notes. And this is actually a pretty cool. This is This is the TI.
That's our electronic organizer. It's the
Right.
model 6200, I believe.
Yes, 68, PS 6800. And it runs on batteries, and it's got the little keypad, it's actually a regular
QWERTY
keyboard. And it's got actually the little arrow buttons here, and up and page down. It's got day scan. I have to keep turning around here. Reminders, addresses, and notes. And it's pretty cool. I mean, you can, you know, turn it on here, and you can see can you see it there? Oh, I didn't hit it high enough. There it is. And you can do different things. Look at by the month or week or whatever you want to look at, you know, by your notes and things. Now, what's the coolest thing about this, though, Doug? This actually has a docking station, believe it or not. This little docking station, it fits in there, and it actually hooks up to your, there it is, hooks up to your, this cable here, hooks up to your serial port.
Correct.
A 9-pin serial port. And what you do is you just close this thing. I don't even know if you have to close it. And it fits
No.
right in. It fits right in just like this. And it snaps. There's a little button in front here to pop it up if you want to take it off, but we'll do that. And then you just open this up, and now you're now connected to the PC. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, the nice thing is the software is so user-friendly that you install to make these things talk, which is probably where you were going to next.
Right.
But understand, once again, let me real quickly say that TI has done a lot of surveys in recent years. We really want to become more user-friendly, and how are people doing business? And the reason this came about is that, you know, while these laptops are very small and lightweight and very powerful, the problem is when you're in front of a payphone, it's difficult to pull out your 6-pound, 7-pound notebook and load up Windows 95 and load up your your contact manager just to get a phone number. It'd be nice if there was something smaller, but it'd only really be nice if these things talked so that we can share data. Number one, I can use this big keyboard when I want to put in lots of data into that. Number two, what if the big concern is, what if I drop this in the water, or I run over it, or I step on it? All my data is gone instantly. If you keep every day, just back it up to your PC. You know, very easy to restore that.
And it does have a Windows interface too.
Right. The machine, if the connectivity kit, you can buy just the electronic organizer, or you can buy the connectivity kit separate, which is your docking station. When you buy the connectivity kit, you get the software, the Windows-based software.
This is so cool.
And so the software is really easy to install. I mean, my wife really is not very technical. I don't want to hope she doesn't watch this, but but actually she installed her own software. It finds the serial port. As long as you have it plugged in, it will find the serial port for you, configure itself. All you got to do is follow the instructions. Put in disk 1, put in disk 2. And when you're done, it's ready to talk. In fact, I've created an open file here for you. So in other words, we put in some data on that organizer. I mean, we just opened that out of the box, what, 30 minutes ago?
Right.
And now I put some data in there for you, some sample stuff, and now let's pretend that you're out in the field and you need to send that to your PC so that you can work here, make more appointments, or just back it up. So let's walk through. I've opened up a file. Then I can go over, it's a blank file, there's no names or anything in it. I can do link. I want to receive, and then it gives you instructions. It says connect the organizer. We've already done that. Press on the organizer, press 2. I'm sorry, press options first.
All right.
It says that. Press the Option key, then press 2, backup restore memory.
All right, that's what it says here.
Then press 1, backup from unit. Press 1 again. Once again, these instructions are right on the screen. Now it says
I see the same thing on this side
Right.
of exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
And we'll say 1 for yes.
Now it tells me on my PC, select continue, and it waits a little bit. It does some initialization, and then it says press the enter key. Now watch on your bar on your
And
screen.
I say, my side says plug-in connector and press enter.
And there it goes.
Just
That fast. Now all that data is on my computer. Everything that we only put in, I think, 5 records.
Right.
But I think the most I've ever sent out was about 120 records, and it only took less than 20 seconds, 30
Right.
seconds. So now we could go in here and look at this. Like you have an appointment here to call your mom and ask for money.
All right, cool.
Let's see. On Wednesday, you need to watch the American Computer Enthusiast show.
All right.
So we've got your appointments in here.
Yeah, make sure everybody watches every Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Actually, what's really funny is they've been repeating it a lot, which is pretty wild. People ask me all the time, and they'll leave messages on our recorder, and because we have a hotline, and it'll come up at the end of the show, and also an email address, because we have a web page. And people ask all the time, when's the show on? The only day I know it's on, for sure, is every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. But it's repeated all the time. It's on Saturday afternoons, it's on Friday nights, it's on Sundays sometimes, it's on Thursdays, it's on all the time. So if you just watch that little scrolling thing that goes by every so often that tells you what's coming up, just look for the American Computer Enthusiast Show and you can see when it's on. But they repeat it all the time. And they've actually been showing a lot of the different shows. But I know for a fact it's on every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. All right. So these things are pretty cool. This is, like I said, it's got the Windows interface, so it makes it really easy. And you're actually running on Windows 95, right?
That's correct. In fact, I'd never installed the software myself on Windows 95 yet until tonight, and so it worked. It was
It couldn't have
seamless.
been any easier.
No, it was really nice.
So it does. So it doesn't even say it on the box, I don't think, but it does work with Windows 3.1 and Windows 95.
Yes, the box I brought didn't, but the newer boxes do. The
does say
one I
Windows
had was
95?
one of the very first ones released.
okay.
So yeah.
But this is now, again, you can send and receive both
That's
ways.
correct. Yeah, we just came this way from the electronic organizer to the PC, but you can go it the other way as well.
Yeah, like you were saying, the worst part of the little things, of these little ones, is typing everything in. So if you can do it on your regular keyboard and send it over here, you can save a lot of time. Plus, you have a lot of different characters and things that you can use on that side.
That's exactly
This doesn't have every character there is known to man.
Right.
And I'm not sure what everything comes across, but it probably has more things, commas, and all those kind of things.
They all come across, and in all honesty, the nice thing about the software is that you can see the whole screen at once, and while that thing prompts you right through, like it'll say enter name, and then you put a name, hit enter, and then it'll say enter address. So it'll prompt you through, but you can't see all of it on the screen at once because the screen's not big enough, even though it is a large 6-line display. Here you can see all of it and just move your mouse to where you want to go. So there's other features as well when you're working off the PC.
But it is pretty cool when you look on here and you actually look up a name like Steve Reeves. It'll pop everything. It's like you say, it's got 6 lines, so it can show you the address, the phone number, and everything else.
Once again, our research showed that people want to be able to see a business card's worth of information at a glance, and that's what that allows.
Oh yeah, and it is about the size of a business
That's
card.
exactly.
The readout right here, and this one has 128K, so that's pretty big for space as far as memory goes.
Right. We actually use a compression algorithm that's pretty advanced, and we've had people that use other versions of those from other manufacturers, and their memory was running out at 256K, and it'll hold on our 128.
Oh.
Because we use a separate kind of memory kind of routine. So
and it does pop in there pretty easy.
It also, that thing comes right out of the box, ready to go in 5 languages. You pick the language you want to work in.
Slovenian?
Slovenian and Polish are the 2 number 1.
Cool. Great. Okay, we want to show some multimedia. You want to do that? You want to go right into the Do we have anything else we want to talk about on this?
No, I think that's it, unless you had any questions. Are you going to keep that?
You want me to? I will. One other thing that you want to talk about this thing real fast while we're doing, while you're hooking that up?
Yeah, I'll be glad
This is the coolest thing.
Right, now that is what's called our TI-92 calculator, and in 1990, TI announced the TI-81 calculator. Now, I don't actually work in the calculator division, but my wife is a high school math teacher, so I learned about these long before I even came to work at TI. But what happened was there's a lot of people out there, teachers and so forth, and teachers want to teach students on computers. It's proven if you can get them to do something, they learn faster than if you're just talking to them. Problem is you can't put 30 computers in every classroom. I mean, there's no desk space, and it's too expensive, and all the other logistics problems with that. So TI came up with the TI-81 that was the first calculator. It was affordably priced. It was around $100, and it allowed a student to do math and graphing and all the different kinds of plotting right on the calculator. teachers loved it, and they said, this is great, but we would like to have some more advanced features. And this machine actually lets you do algebraic expressions, and it lets you also do geometry and do the different shapes and how they represent to each other. And so it looks like something to come out of the space shuttle, doesn't it?
I'm having a problem here. Okay, there. We'll just do it like this. I like to make the cameraman move. Anyways, yeah, it's got function keys over here on the side, and it's got this little doohickey thing here to move it around the screen. I'm trying not to get a glare on there, but it's kind of hard to figure out.
Now, I wasn't very good in math, so you're not going to make me use that thing, are you?
No, no.
Good.
Well, actually, we have a brochure right here. Let's pretend it's in there.
There you go.
Can you see this? This is all the different things it can do. It's got a...
the bottom down there on the left is algebraic expression. See right where your finger is the questions or the problem, and then to the right is the answer on that same screen. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
No, that's the graph representation.
Oh yeah, here. Right. Oh. Okay.
And over there is geometry, and so it's just the calculator is extremely powerful.
Cool.
It's really popular in the market, in the education market. I mean, in fact, TI is by far the leader in this business, and we've really worked closely with math educators around the country, and actually math educators help design the product.
Yeah, now this thing also has a top that actually comes off and makes it nice. Looks like a Polaroid camera almost. Right. And the other thing is it has little steps on the side here, little grooves, so you can put it in here so you can actually use it to block out the sun or cheaters.
Right, or cheaters. That's right. In school, that's
But
important.
also it's for the screen, so the light doesn't go on the LED or LCD.
So you can get to the adjust it to the right height.
Right, actually there's different adjustments that you can do. Okay, we're going to talk a little about multimedia. A lot of people want to know what people actually do. I'm going to turn this off here. What people actually do to in the field when they take these multimedia PCs and things. So Doug's got some multimedia, I guess they're AVI files, audio-visual files, to actually show, and we can show these on the screens and see what people actually do in the real world.
Right. During the last break, we quickly plugged in a speaker, so we don't have a direct line into your feed, but I think we'll be able to understand it. We'll just show a clip real quick, or a piece of it, and then we can talk about what's happening.
Now we're in regular Windows 3.1, though.
That's correct.
We switched computers, people don't think.
I'll move this down. Right. So, you want to let that go?
Huh? How long is it?
Probably another 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So that was obviously just a rock and roll type music video clip, and the point there is just that you can do anything you want to change the mood in the meeting you're in. Sometimes, obviously, in the sales environment, it's a tough environment. If you can do things to get people into the right frame of mind, that's how people use multimedia the most, is in the sales environment. You can show your product, with music you can set the tone, high energy or solemn or very serious or classical or whatever.
The other way, you can, if you have some really annoying person sitting next to you on a plane, you just start that up.
That's
right when everybody's sitting down, and then, like on the Southwest, and then they'll go to another seat that way. You just sit there with this really wild music.
Yeah, people ask me how I use multimedia. I say I play Garth Brooks through my CD player on the plane. That's it. Have the headphones on. That's how there's lots of ways we use it. Then there's like people are used to seeing our TI commercial on TV and so forth, and this is just actual TI motion video.
When it comes to the fast track, Texas Instruments sets the pace with high-performance notebook computers.
Can I hear that? The speaker's kind of muffled.
Right.
Maybe just put my hands over it.
Oh yeah.
TI was the first company to offer a full range of high-performance 486 notebooks.
Cool. I want a car like that.
Right. I thought you had one. I thought this was yours.
No.
Optimized Windows for notebooks, and the only manufacturer of any...
So you can see another advantage, another way people use this out in the field, just to show your products. That's the most common way right there, or show an advertisement and so forth. And it works great when you're in a presentation and you're waiting for the people to come filtering in, and you have some kind of a PowerPoint or something that you can play that while they're walking in, have video clips.
And like you were saying earlier, I think it was when we were off the air, was a lot of people CDs are so inexpensive now to make, and sometimes they're actually cheaper than videotapes,
right?
Because they, I know everybody's got the new recordable CD-ROMs and things, and they just stamp them, and when they have the CD-ROMs in these and in docking station things, it's got the whole entire presentation of the whole company can be on there, demos of the software, everything, so you can really use this
Yeah, in
PCs.
fact, we have a CD like that, that if I have a customer that's interested in an executive briefing or something like that, what is your manufacturing facility like? I can pull out our CD and show those kind of pictures, still pictures or video, depending on what we have on the CD. Another way it's used, really common, is that when you're out, this remote technology is really nice and it works great, but people really do feel secluded sometimes. Like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you can't stand around the water cooler. I mean, there's sometimes I'll go a month or two without seeing another TI person, or whatever company you're with, and so it's really nice, instead of getting a cold email when there's really serious issues going on in the industry, or competitions or whatever.
Right.
You can get a nice CD or some kind of information you can put right on your machine from your CEO or vice president or whatever, and you can see the tone of the voice and their body language, and it's just it makes it a little bit more personal than just a cold email or voicemail.
Right.
It's another common one.
Another thing that we didn't mention, well, two things we haven't talked about yet. One is TI does have a web page. What is it? It's www.ti.com.
Right.
And there's just about everything that we've talked about, probably everything and more.
Right.
A lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
Yes.
we talked about, more details on all these printers, docking stations, computers, everything is on the web. So you can actually get on there and download information, or actually go through all. There's probably brochures. There's all kinds.
Absolutely.
I actually seen a bunch of different things. Everything we talked about is on
Right.
there. And so you can find out more information about all of this. There's also, we'll have 800 lines if anybody needs information also on TI, or if you want to talk to Doug and find out more information about any one of these products. But you actually don't handle the calculators.
Right.
That's another division. So we'll have both those numbers on there if you want information on this, the TI calculators and the organizers. These are both in the same division.
Right, that's correct.
And then you're more in the printers
and
and
notebooks.
and things.
That's right.
The other thing that we didn't really mention, and we keep talking about, like you just mentioned it again, like email and things. We didn't really talk much about PCMCI cards or anything like that with modems and things.
Right.
But we talked about how they fit in there and everything else, but we really didn't talk much about them. So that gives us another thing for another show. But let me show.
Right.
In case people want to know. Again, I like to keep the camera person hopping around, showing things. This is a PCMCI card, or PC card as they're called now, I guess, right?
Right.
This actually is it's actually
Megahertz.
Oh, it's a megahertz. I see. And TI sells it though.
Texas Instruments, Megahertz makes our modems for us.
Oh, I didn't realize
That's
that.
correct.
Oh, that's great. But you can see this one here is pretty cool. It's just a thin little card. It's got this little jack that actually pops out, and you just put the phone cord right in there. And so it doesn't take up much space.
Right.
I don't talk much, do I? And but you can see it's pretty cool. Now this is what we're keep talking about with PCMCI cards and modems. You can buy modems like this. You can buy
SCSI boards,
sound cards,
hard drives.
Hard drives are a little bit thinner. You can actually buy flash memory, all kinds of different things that come in these little cards. And they're I mean, well, I was going to say inexpensive, relatively inexpensive. They used to be a lot more expensive, but the prices come down, and they're a lot easier to use now.
Right. The most common two are a modem and a network card. Almost every
exactly.
corporate account puts in a network card and a modem card.
Or the 2-in-1 cards.
Right,
Like
combo
Zercom
cards.
has one, and 3Com has one that actually is a network card and a modem in the same card.
That's right.
We only have 30 seconds left. You want to start that video right there?
You bet.
What do we have? What's the last video we have
It's
here?
the client video. This is actually from the movie The Client. Some people just like to watch videos on their CD-ROM.
Right. It's a little loud there. Let's turn this down. All right. I guess what I want to do is we'll wrap it up here, and then we'll just go out with the video on the screen. But I want to make sure I want to thank everybody for watching the show. I want to thank Doug for doing this. Doug Hansen from TI. And make sure everybody watches the show every week. So we'll see you next week, and thanks for watching.
If I don't answer your questions, I could go to jail.
Maybe. You're right. You do need a lawyer.
How many cases have you won?
More than I lost.
How much do you cost?
How much is that? Did you intend to...